Hi, I'm John,
And I'm Aisha.
and today we want to share with you some study strategies, especially for this crazy season of a pandemic where a lot of people are stuck at home to study online. And both of us are in the education field and have a lot of experience tutoring people and teaching study strategies. So we just want to teach some strategies that will hopefully help you be successful in this season. And we're going to start with really the most important thing before a strategy on how to study is the motivation to study. Right, and I like to remind people that education is an incredible gift, right? There's people all over the world that don't have access to education that would love to have the opportunity that you do. Even if you think about the ability to do learning online, like if this pandemic would have happened 20, 30 years ago, you wouldn't have had access to do that.
Yeah, and the Word of God tells us to make the most out of every opportunity. So that's why we wanted to share with you today how you can make the most out of this opportunity of being home all day long because of the virus situation that's taking place.
And this advice is going to be applicable to any high school or college or other students. And I really want to encourage high school students right now. This is actually a great preparation for college because right now you probably have more self-responsibility than you would otherwise. And that's what the transition to college is all about. You have more responsibility to study at home instead of just being in class all day. And I think part of that responsibility is taking time to actually study your textbook and study your materials before the class begins. So online, probably you guys are having Zoom meetings or some sort of online mechanism. So don't let that meeting be the first time you see the material. If you study it first, like you might not understand all of it at the first look. You're not supposed to, but get a great overview of what it's covering and write down some questions you have. Then you can ask those questions during the lesson. And again, this is going to be helpful moving forward to even in-person classes as well.
Yeah. And
then afterwards, make sure that you are getting to your homework right away. I think it's very important to have a schedule and to plan out your day, especially if you're home all day. Set yourself a schedule. When you need to work on which topics. Again, it's very important the further you go in education to manage your time. I like having a written planner where you can write down what things you need to accomplish. Don't wait for the deadline. Work on things a lot ahead of time.
And it may feel like because we're in this time where you're just sitting home and not usually as active as you would be, that you don't need to make a schedule. But if you continue that same routine and you set goals throughout the day, you could, still utilize that time very well and very, very wisely, and still be active where you are.
And I want to give you some specific tips. First, tips on how to memorize things. If some of your courses have things that need to maybe be memorized, like chemistry, or maybe you need vocab words for English or dates for history. So what you want to do is write a list of all of those and quiz yourself on those as often as you can. Try to quiz yourself once a day. And once you start getting better, make sure you quiz yourself without having just looked at it. If you look at the material, then quiz yourself, you're really testing your short-term memory.
And that's good.
Yeah, that's how you build long-term memory. But once you've quizzed yourself a few times like that, test yourself at least 30 minutes after looking at it or the next day. Also want to share, I think, the best advice for any math or physics type course that has a lot of equations is any important equations, try to write down a summary sheet that has all those equations on the same thing. It could even be just a simple math principle, such as how multiplying exponents work. Write those down in a way that you'll understand on one summary sheet so you can study that and then reference it when you go through your problems. If you go through homework problems and you got stuck in a part, write down some advice on how you can get through that in the future. Especially after every problem you do, reflect on your process and think about how you can solve similar problems.
Yeah, and that's really good also in preparing for the next lesson. So even if you haven't discussed the next section of your workbook with your teacher online, studying that material ahead of time and then presenting those questions when you are in that meeting with the teacher will also help you to build.
And my wife's going to share some strategies on writing and papers. Let's say you have an essay to write. How do you get started if you're kind of stuck or don't know the overall theme?
Yeah, so this is very simple, super simple. So first you want to start off with the theme. So what is your paper going to be about? Are you making a statement? Are you making an argument of some sort? If you're talking about, for example, Colgate toothpaste, and you're saying Colgate toothpaste is the best toothpaste in the world, that could be your theme, that you say we use Colgate, we like Colgate. So that's why I'm using an example here. But you can make that statement, but then you need to back it up by points, and that is the body of your paper. So you want to back it up by 3 to 5 points on why is that the best toothpaste that you've encountered or that you found, and you need to back it up with research. Then, you have the ending of that paper after you have state and backed up those 3 points, back up your theme, your thesis. Then you want to conclude that paper, and that would be your conclusion. You can end up with lastly, ultimately, etc. And that's really it for paper when you're in high school, and you use that same format when you get to college. It'll just be a lot more dense and more of a lengthy essay than it would be in high school, but for the most part that would be the same format that you would use.
So hopefully these tips have encouraged you and can motivate you to study well, and the main thing is also believe in yourself. Believe you can do it and accomplish everything you have before you. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and make sure to subscribe to our channel. We share a lot of stuff about not only teaching and learning, but about our lives, family, relationship, and God. So feel free to subscribe if you want to see more from us.
Yes, and we'll say a job well done.